Welcome to Thursday's edition of Newsplus right here on ZTN Prime, channel 294 on DSTV. My name is Wadzanai Sansole and these are your headlines. President Emmerson Mnangagwa today commissioned 3 projects at Bindura University of Science Education, including a smartphone and laptop assembly plant, a chemicals production plant, and an optometry clinic. Zimbabwe has extended a generous gesture to the Republic of Botswana through a loan facility, with 20% of the consignment as a donation and 80% provided as a loan to be reimbursed in the form of ARVs. Details of that story coming up. Stay tuned. Also on Newsplus, Harare unveils $690 million budget, hikes water tariffs. And in sport, Chevrons look to bounce back against Afghanistan. Right, we now take a closer look at our main news, and we start with President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who this Thursday commissioned 3 projects at Bindura University of Science Education before he presided over the institution's 24th graduation ceremony. The projects include a smartphone and laptop assembly plant, a chemicals production plant, and an optometry clinic with a manufacturing unit. Our correspondent Sharon Munjenjema was in Bindura and compiled the following report.
Bindura University of Science Education turns 25 this year, marking the milestone with significant strides in innovation. Before presiding over the graduation ceremony, President Emmerson Mnangagwa toured the university's industrial park, where he officially opened a laptop and cell phone assembly plant. The plant, known as Palpo Technologies, has already placed its products on the market since last year. The gadgets come with a locally developed artificial intelligence assistant named Titus. The aim is to provide affordable devices for students and small businesses. President Mnangagwa said he was impressed by the university's innovative drive.
I am highly impressed by our team here. Innovation, technology development. This is what it ought to be across the country, across the board. Each time we come here, we find that this young man has new ideas. And that, of course, means he is buying more and more time for himself than many.
President Mnangagwa also commissioned a chemicals production plant and an optometry clinic, which includes a manufacturing unit with the capacity to produce 1,200 spectacles per day. The president said he would like to see such innovation and industrial initiatives spread across the country.
Now that you're asking me, it is necessary that we have such facilities across the board so that our people are educated. We have a system of making sure we spread and have everybody across the country understand what we are doing, what our aims are, what our goals are, how much we are developing, where we were last year, where we are now, where do we intend to go. These are the occasions which showcase the journey.
The optometry clinic is the first spectacle manufacturing plant to be established by a university in Africa. Localizing production is expected to cut costs for locals by about 30%. The university says this is only the beginning, with more innovative projects on the way.
The university established an industrial park which was commissioned by His Excellency this morning. The industrial park is situated in the Bindura town industrial zone and spans 2.6 hectares. The park is a living ecosystem that exemplifies the university's commitment to transforming Zimbabwe's socio-economic landscape by producing market-ready goods and services that address national development challenges.
President Mnangagwa also commissioned the university's newly refurbished main entrance, a symbol of the university's growth and modern outlook as it marks 25 years of existence.
It's clear that innovation is no longer just classroom theory. Universities such as this are turning ideas into industry, The hope is that such initiatives will spread across institutions in Zimbabwe and contribute more directly to industrial growth. For ZTN News, I'm Cheryl Mujejema in Bindura.
Now, after commissioning the 3 projects, President Mnangagwa went on to preside over the 24th graduation ceremony of Bindura University of Science Education, marking its silver jubilee under the theme From Vision to Impact. He capped 2,115 graduates, while Vice-Chancellor Professor Eddie Mwenje hailed the university's growth in innovation and excellence. We give you more in the following report.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa today graced the 24th Bindura University of Science Education graduation ceremony, marking 25 years since the institution's establishment. A total of 2,115 graduates were capped, 1,098 females and 1,017 males across various academic disciplines.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I declare this congregation of the Bindura University of Science Education duly constituted as the 24th graduation ceremony.
The ceremony celebrated the university's journey from a vision to a center of scientific excellence and innovation. This year's graduates include 3 doctorates, 25 postgraduate diplomas, 45 master's degrees, 1,332 undergraduate degrees, and 341 diplomas.
Business of the day. We shall shortly be presenting to you 2,115 graduates for conferment of degrees and diplomas of the Bindura University of Science Education. 1,332 are graduating with first degrees, 405 with master's degrees, and 3 with higher degrees by research, MPhil and DPhil. 341 with diplomas, and 25 with postgraduate diplomas. Of the undergraduate and master's graduates, 108 are graduating with first-class passes, and 7 with distinctions, respectively.
The Vice-Chancellor, Professor Eddie Mwenje, said the milestone graduation reflected the institution's growing impact through its innovation hub and industrial park, which are driving applied research and entrepreneurship. He also highlighted the need to bridge the gap between academia and industry through proffering practical solutions ready for adoption by industry and the public.
Community service, innovation, and industrialization. This 5-pillared mandate informs the university's entire research and development agenda, which are geared towards generating practical solutions, creating new industries, and contributing directly to the nation's economic growth. The university's commitment is not merely theoretical. It is manifested in the development of tangible products.
Among the top achievers was Paida Moyo Facial Chitate, who graduated with a BSc Honours in Natural Resources Management and received the Dr. Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa Chancellor's Award of $1,000 for being the best female student.
Bachelor of Science Honours degree in Natural Resources Management, awarded the Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa Chancellor's Award of $1,000 cash prize for being the best graduating female student in the university.
Tafazwa Chirume, with a BSc Honours in Statistics and Financial Mathematics, received the same award for being the best male student.
Graduating posthumously, Masocha Stewart.
On a somber note, one student, Stuart Masocha, graduated posthumously. Professor Mwenje extended condolences to his family and friends. The Student Representative Council President, Ms. Brita Gwezeri, appreciated the robust Education 5.0 and encouraged the graduating class to uphold innovation as they engage with industry.
Today marks the culmination of years of hard work, perseverance, and determination, and the beginning of new dreams. As we step into the next chapter of our lives, may we continue to uphold the values of excellence, innovation, and service that Bindura University has instilled in us.
As Bindura University of Science Education celebrates 25 years of transforming lives, the institution continues to position itself as a hub for innovation and technology, shaping the future of higher education in Zimbabwe. Iben Mabunda for ZTN Prime.
Now, in other news, the government of Zimbabwe extended a generous gesture to the Republic of Botswana through a loan facility of antiretroviral drugs. 20% of the consignment was a donation and 80% provided as a loan to be reimbursed in the form of ARVs. Ambassador to the Republic of Botswana to the Republic of Zimbabwe, Her Excellency Sarah S. Molosiwa, conveyed heartfelt appreciation to the government of the Republic of Zimbabwe on behalf of President Duma Boko and the government of the Republic of Botswana for this vital gesture of solidarity.
These are the drugs that were requested from Botswana. They've just been loaded and the trucks are ready to depart from Botswana. I want to appreciate this moment on behalf of my country, on behalf of our President Advocate Duma Boko, that we really appreciate the gesture that has been given by Zimbabwe, especially of the donation of 20% that has been given to Botswana, and on top of the total dispatch or a consignment that really shows that we are one as Africa. Remember, last week we were just celebrating, or commemorating, not celebrating, SADC Anti-Sanctions Day, which means that, or which demonstrates that as SADC countries, we stand in solidarity with Zimbabwe against these illegal sanctions.
Next, the Harare City Council has increased household water tariffs by 100%. This is in line with the city's plan to roll out prepaid smart water meters across residential and commercial areas through a private-public partnership. Now, presenting the 2026 budget today, Finance Committee Chairperson, Councillor Costa, said the initiative is part of the 2026 to 2030 vision, aligned with the city's commitment to financial sustainability and improved customer service.
The residential high density, that is 0 to 5 cubic meters, the existing is $1.24. Your worship, I propose $2. On residential low density, 0 to 5 cubic meters, the existing is $1.70, which is approximately $2. And we propose $4.90. On water commercial, 0 to 100 cubic meters, existing was $50. We are proposing $50. On 0 to 200 cubic meters, the existing is $75. It's being maintained at $75. 200 to 500 cubic meters, $150, and we propose $150.
Now, Council also reduced business license fees by 50% to support investment growth, enterprise formalization and economic recovery. He said the proposed budget tariff structure seeks to make Harare a competitive, inclusive and business-friendly city, while also maintaining adequate fiscal capacity to sustain service delivery.
Shop license, that is below 50 square meters, the existing charge is $400. We propose $200 in 2026, which is a 50% reduction. On shop licenses, 50 square meters to 100 square meters. The existing is $600 US. We are proposing $300 US, which is also a 50% reduction. On shop licenses above 100 square meters, we propose, the existing is $800 per square meter. We are proposing $500, which is a 38% reduction. Hairdressers Class A shop from 460, we are reducing to 230.
And now to give us an assessment of Harare City Council's budget, we are joined live by Ruben Akili, the Director of Combined Harare Residents Association. Good evening, Ruben. Thank you for joining us on Newsplus. Tell me, as residents, what would you say was the major highlight from today's budget?
Thank you so much. So from a resident's perspective, I think the issues around reducing the license fees for traders and shops, I think it's one of the, I would say, it's a welcome development, which we strongly believe that it will go a long way in ensuring that it becomes affordable to do business, especially the business licenses. They've become very exorbitant. Some ranging from even $500 to $1,000, per year, which was not sustainable in terms of those who would, especially for those who operate on small to medium, enterprises. So it's very, very important that we saw that the local authority had to intervene. But remember, this has been also a cabinet directive. So to us, probably it has been just an issue of compliance.
Now, Ruben, this budget has increased, even though Council has failed to collect the forecasted revenue. What would you attribute this failure to? And do you think the increase will see improvement in service delivery going forward?
Thank you so much. So when you look at the history of the collection efficiency of the local authority, it has been declining over the years. I think last year also, even last year, right now, even the collection efficiency is hovering between 40 to 50% collection efficiency, meaning that we are collecting nearly half of what we would have budgeted for. So the rationale behind then increasing the budget when you cannot be able to collect, it becomes, it raises more questions than answers. Would envisage a situation where the local authority would also have kind of like a standstill budget, but also on the other end, ensuring that mechanisms to collect, the revenue which they are owed, to collect even monies which they are supposed to be receiving from residents. I think this could have been a good move. So we expected the local authority that raising the budget will not solve anything, but I think issues around trying to look at how best we can be able then to get what the local authorities owed, those mechanisms or measures. Those are some of the things which we feel that needs to be done, rather than increasing. We are just increasing a budget, placing, creating a crisis of hope and a crisis of expectation amongst residents. But at the end of the day, nothing then yield results. So it's something which we feel that the local authority could have done better in terms of, the budget threshold or the budget, the total budget.
Now, Ruben, the other thing was Council increased rates. Do you think this was justified?
This, we have always said that no to privatization of water. So these are the fruits of privatization. So water, under the current arrangement, it is now privatized. So when it's privatized, it becomes more of like for profit making, rather than providing water where the local authority will then break even. So these are the effects of privatization, and we've told people that privatization is a danger towards access to water, and we're beginning to see it. Water is going to be expensive more if our water is privatized. In fact, what we've also gathered, even in the past, is that it costs the local authority around 70 cents to purify 1,000 liters of water. But again, previously it would cost, then the local authority would then sell at $1.24, which was more of like a commercial rate. If you look at it, they were even making profit beyond breaking even. But again, to then go to $2, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. This is just clear that they don't want to provide the services to the people, especially among the urban poor. The local authority has been turned probably into a local authority trying to save the elites rather than to save the local authority, the whole local authority area. So to us, there is a need to ensure that, in fact, we will object. Remember, we have got a period of objecting the budget as a CRA. We will mobilize objections around that $2 figure. This, we have always said that no to private.
There, but thank you for sharing your insights with us here on Newsplus. Now, when we return shortly after the break, we'll give you a story on the fight against corruption.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
Harare, tune into the beat.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, your source for news, business, sports, fashion, and more.
Experience the pulse of Harare's culture and lifestyle.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, Harare's top radio station.
Join the conversation with Zimbabwe's top personalities.
Subscribe now for fresh and infotainment content daily.
Capital 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned to Newsplus this evening. We move on to our next story now. The Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission says it is making progress in the fight against graft, recording a 74% conviction rate and recovering assets worth over $30 million in 2024. But even as the Commission marks those milestones, it admits the fight against high-level corruption remains an uphill task because many Zimbabweans are still afraid to speak out. Faith Nyade gives us more details.
At the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission's 5th annual general meeting, the Commission tabled a report it says reflects growing accountability and stronger financial systems. In 2024 alone, ZAC referred 343 corruption dockets to the National Prosecuting Authority, 14% of them high-profile cases involving senior officials or transactions exceeding $100,000.
14.5% of the cases referred to the National Prosecuting Authority classified as high profile. These cases involved individuals in leadership positions or had a value exceeding $100,000.
The Commission also reported asset recoveries worth more than $13.6 million, including properties forfeited through unexplained wealth orders. Its conviction rate rose to 74%, up from 71% the previous year. Progress, ZAC says, shows growing effectiveness.
Asset recovery efforts were intensified, aligning with the NDS1's emphasis on governance and the rule of law.
But behind the numbers lies a sobering truth. ZAC says fear continues to silence potential whistleblowers, making it harder to hold powerful figures accountable. The remarks come as ZAC wraps up the first national anti-corruption strategy, which achieved a 61% success rate. The Commission says lessons from that phase will help shape a new, more inclusive plan focused on whistleblower protection and tougher laws.
What we need is, because this is a collective fight, so we need the public to give us information whenever they have the evidence, so that it will be easier for us to investigate and then give completed dockets, quality dockets to the NPA for prosecution.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Justice says ZAC still has work to do in regards to asset recovery, engaging citizens and raising awareness and supporting whistleblower protection.
We must also promote public awareness and education. And sometimes the public also needs to be educated to know the progress we are making as far as the anti-corruption fight is concerned.
Zach says the statistics show progress, but until fear no longer shadows those who dare to speak up, the fight against corruption may remain one-sided. Reporting for ZTN Prime, I'm Faith Nyaude in Harare.
Moving on, the Ministry of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare is charting a new strategic direction as it begins crafting its 2026 to 2030 strategic plan. And speaking at a planning workshop in Bulawayo, Minister Edgar Moyo said the blueprint will accelerate reforms in public service delivery, in labour relations, as well as social protection, ensuring that no Zimbabwean is left behind on the road to Vision 2030.
Delegates from across the country gathered in Bulawayo to map out the ministry's next 5-year plan, one that aligns with the second phase of the National Development Strategy and DS2. Public Service Minister Edgar Moyo said the strategy seeks to modernize the public service, expand decent work opportunities, and deepen social protection systems that uplift vulnerable communities. The new strategic plan will focus on 4 key transformation areas: public service digitalization, strengthening labor relations, expanding social welfare coverage, and human capital development.
Commitment to our mission of ensuring decent work and inclusive sustainable social protection for all. This mission is not merely aspirational. It is a solemn obligation we have undertaken to improve the lives of our citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, as we enter the final stretch towards Vision 2030, we must adopt a mindset of acceleration, innovation, and disciplined execution.
Minister Moyo noted that Zimbabwe's greatest asset lies in its people, stressing that an efficient labour market is central to national development. Among the challenges identified were drug and substance abuse, high youth unemployment, informal sector growth, and household food insecurity. Minister Moyo urged participants to develop bold, practical strategies that address the social and economic realities. The workshop also emphasized ethical leadership and mindset transformation within the public service as government pushes for improved efficiency and citizen-centered service delivery.
The nation continues to grapple with a number of critical challenges, including drug and substance abuse, particularly among youths, high youth unemployment, growth of the informal economy, household food insecurity and rising vulnerability, irregular migration, limited fiscal space, worsened by sanctions imposed on our country. These challenges are daunting, but not insurmountable.
Addressing journalists, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Simon Masanga, said the National Social Registry System, a social protection program, had been developed with the questionnaire having been crafted, saying it was ready for piloting in at least 4 districts. He said government was working on where to house the servers that will store the critical data for the registry.
What now remains is to pilot the questionnaire, I think in 4 or 5 districts, I'm not quite sure, but we now want to see data collection on the programs that we have and then feed this information into our company.
As government intensifies efforts towards Vision 2030, the ministry says the new strategy will not only reform systems but transform lives, ensuring that every Zimbabwean benefits from a modern, inclusive and compassionate public service. For ZTN Prime, I'm Andile Chuma in Bulawayo.
African countries have joined hands to mitigate the economic and environmental effects of locust infestations, which have threatened food security. Now, earlier this year, locust infestations were reported in Algeria, in Tunisia and Libya. Speaking during the 41st regular session of the Governing Council of Ministers hosted by the International Red Locust Organization in Harare, the Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Ignatius Masuka, called upon other African countries to join the organization to ensure that locust infestations in Africa are addressed. Dr. Masuka said that there is a need to craft strategies that promote effective and rapid responses to address outbreaks.
South Africa, Namibia, to come on board. Those countries that have deserts should actually become the first members because it's very little for workers to chew, and if they chew everything. Whereas if you are in Zambia, you have these large plans, they will only grow. So therefore we need strategic anticipation as part of this strategy making process. How do we build the capabilities and capacities and competence within this organization in order to forecast, to continue with monitoring, to continue with surveillance, and so that the rapid response mechanism that we deploy is as cost effective as is humanly possible? How do we monitor these breeding sites so that before an outbreak occurs, we are able to react? Can we use satellite-aided forecasting? Can't we then enhance collaboration and linkages?
And the Zambian Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Ruben Pidi, implored various research institutions to also collaborate with the organization in order to develop pesticides to contain the locusts and pests which threaten food security. He urged member states to take the center stage in educating the public on outbreaks and the mitigation strategies.
Research on environmentally safe and appropriate pesticides for locust control, including a biopesticide for red locust control. In addition, the organization provides advisory services and issues out monthly regional situational reports and forecasts to member states and other stakeholders. In all honesty, Honorable Minister, we can do better. I don't think we are alerting our public as much as we should do. And I've given myself that I will continue to do much, much more than I've done in the past to make sure that members of the public, not only in Zambia, but across, are made aware. So we work on some comical way of letting people know things which can go on TV, which are attractive, you know, some nice animations, so that people can appreciate that these locusts are there and we need to eradicate them. Excellency, the organization operates on an annual budget funded through contributions from member states.
120 disadvantaged families welcomed an early Christmas after they received donations from Tandi Foundation. The recently formed foundation made the donation to the people of Denya village under Chief Chivero Mondoro Mbaira in Chegutu district.
Villagers received sugar, cooking oil, flour, mealie meal, carpenter, chunks, bath and washing soap. These packages were a brainchild of United States-based Tandiwe Chidawa. The donation was welcomed by the community as a timely relief for those in difficult circumstances. Beneficiaries could not hold back tears, saying the donation had come at a time when they were struggling to put food on the table. Chidawa lost a father at a young age, and she says as a result, she was raised under difficult circumstances. She later became a teacher in the area and in Chinoi before moving to the United States of America. This, she says, has motivated her to give back to the community.
And during that time, we had a lot of people helping us. A lot of donations from the welfare, a lot of donations from the well-wishers, a lot of donations from politicians. We were helped a lot. So I'm just giving back to the community what they gave to us. I'm just helping back the community, you know, what God has blessed me with.
Chidawa plans to convert her vast property in Harare's Borodok suburb into a free drug and substance abuse center for the rehabilitation of those hooked onto drugs. Mondoro Mobayira Ward 9 Councillor Itai Bonde hailed development partners and the foundation for making a difference in the life of vulnerable people in the community.
Kazhinji chinji tikutarisa vane urema vari mahouseholds, kutarisazve chembere mawidows vari kure vaive, kutarisa maorphans, kutarisa machild headed vasina vanovachengeta ivo vaive, ndo vatiri kutanga kupa zvinhu seti yakakwana yatapiwa iyi. Then sekuti tauya takawanda tinogona kuti 1 pane varipo kuti as long munhu asaende asina chainacho.
The philanthropic initiative and the concern shown for those affected by drug and substance abuse come at a crucial time when the government is intensifying its fight against the scourge. Such interventions play a vital role in complementing the government's efforts to address the problem. For ZTM Prime, I am Satashi Suegwaza.
Now, on to the global updates we have lined up for you. Ugandan workers see hope in Saudi Arabia's abolition of modern slavery. This was a system used to regulate foreign labor from migrant workers using sponsorship.
We have over 160,000 Ugandans living and working in the United Arab Emirates. Out of this 160,000, it is estimated that 8,000 are there illegally. Most of them are trafficked and others traffic themselves. Trafficking themselves are those that go for seeking opportunities and then they overstay their visas. But it still remains our responsibility to offer consular services to those that are in need, whether they are there legal or illegal. So for those that had overstayed their visas, we requested the authorities of the United Arab Emirates to offer them amnesty and get repatriated back home.
Ghana's economy is showing renewed signs of stability as the nation launched a year-long campaign to mark 60 years of its national currency and its role in shaping Ghana's economic independence. This was said at the official launch of the Cedi at 60 initiative in Accra, marking a new milestone for their currency. The event served as a moment for national reflection and renewed confidence in Ghana's economic direction.
It was in July 1965 that the cedi replaced the Ghanaian pound, pence and shillings. This was the result of a bold plan by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to free our economy from colonial structures. As we know, the cedi is drawn from the cowrie shell, which for centuries served as reliable currency. Thus, Ghana sent a signal that our history did not begin with colonization and that independence and sovereignty may be found in our ability to express value and transact in our own terms.
Now, elsewhere, workers were seen decorating the surroundings of the Grand Egyptian Museum in Cairo ahead of its long-awaited official inauguration on the 1st of November. According to archaeological researchers, the Grand Egyptian Museum represents Egypt's jewel and the gift it presents to the whole world. It also strengthens national identity and sends a message to the world that Egypt is preserving its heritage.
الشخصيات دي عددها 577 شخصية أو 577 مجسم جمعت كل مناحي الحياة أو كل فئات المجتمع، فنانين، أدباء، شعراء، لاعبي كورة.
And on to a rather distressing report. Residents in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, carried dozens of bodies to a public square on Wednesday after the deadliest police operation in the history of their state, which, according to authorities, was aimed at the drug trafficking gang Comando Vermelho and left a toll of 132 dead, including 4 officers. The police sought to execute 100 arrest warrants against the gang, but according to authorities, the alleged criminals responded with gunfire and explosive. The security forces conducted raids that resulted in the arrest of 81 suspects. In addition, 93 rifles and more than a half a ton of drugs were seized.
Esse massacre só é diferente do ponto de vista da sua extensão, da quantidade de pessoas mortas. Mas não é diferente do ponto de vista da prática criminosa, da política de segurança pública, da forma como o Estado costuma lidar com a comunidade pobre. Portanto, não é o primeiro massacre.
Meanwhile, the governor of Rio de Janeiro, Claudio Castro, defended the police operation against the criminal organization Comando Vermelho, in which 132 people were killed. He described it as a noble action in defense of the common good and stated that the real victims were the 4 officers who died during the operation.
Que estados ou cidades que não sofrem hoje com problema de segurança pública sofrerão em breve. Aquele que não entender que esse é o maior problema do Brasil hoje, terá que, em muito pouco tempo, refazer a sua fala e pedir perdão à sociedade. E por isso, o Rio de Janeiro sai na frente. Mas não na perspectiva de fazer sozinho, mas na perspectiva de entender o seu papel. Entender que o epicentro desse problema que assola o Brasil é o Rio de Janeiro. Só me diz onde está, por favor. Esperamos do governo federal, sinceramente, um foco no Rio de Janeiro, um foco de integração, um foco de trabalho junto, um foco inclusive de...
And in our look at business news, we'll give you something on the compensation for former Wenela mine workers.
Welcome wherever you are. And Marmoush, room to shoot. He well and truly did. It's an opportunity. What a shot to Sino! Tarkovsky! Scott's got to be careful. Bukayo Saka! But it's Salah, and that one delivers!
Never miss a play, home or away. Stream all Premier League games live on Showmax.
The long-awaited compensation process for former Wenela mine workers has officially begun, following the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between the National Social Security Authority and the Chiamiso Trust. The signing of the MOU marks a major step towards justice for thousands of Zimbabweans who contracted silicosis and tuberculosis while working in South African gold mines between 1965 and 2019. The agreement will enable the Chiamiso Trust to fully operate in Zimbabwe, managing claims, conducting medical verifications, and also facilitating compensation payments to qualifying beneficiaries and their dependents.
Chiamiso Trust was established to give effect to a settlement agreement in a class action against the gold mining industry in South Africa. In this class action, 6 of the gold mining companies agreed to pay compensation to mine workers who suffered permanent lung damage from contracting silicosis or work-related TB while they worked in their mines in South Africa. It's important to note it is gold mining, and it is not all mines that are covered, but mines that are owned by these 6 mining companies, namely.
And under this compensation scheme, qualifying workers will receive payouts ranging from 10,000 Rand to 500,000 Rand, depending on the severity of illness and terms of the settlement. The program will also benefit dependents of deceased mine workers who meet the eligibility criteria. The initiative covers former employees of major mining houses, including Anglo-American South Africa, Anglo Gold Ashanti, Gold Fields, Harmony Gold, African Rainbow Minerals, and Sibanye Stillwater. Former Wenela workers who are claimants in the case have expressed relief that there is progress after they initiated efforts to get various forms of compensation in 1999.
I won't say you would very cheaply, so but with no option, you want each of the city one. Over then I'm campaign of Tom water after 2 months water you can't end this. I was here what in myself from Uguyanka. But so city I'm not from Uguyanka, where Spartali money from much. Then the say we assess in general. That would have option 71 months according to the money account. Then the 30 months or 20 months or be part-time. But the contract is kind of routine as a place because having money is like a torture routine in case the government will I know what to have and
Shantai Investments cement plant, which is expected to produce more than 800,000 tons of cement annually, is now 55% complete, with the project expected to be fully commissioned within the next 6 months. The multi-million-dollar project, built with advanced and environmentally friendly technology, is poised to boost local cement production, create jobs and also stabilize prices, as well as reduce Zimbabwe's reliance on imports while promoting sustainable industrial growth. Still on business, in its October release of the Supranationals 2025 Special Edition, S&P said updates to its multilateral lending institution framework could lift risk-adjusted capital ratios by about 10%, potentially unlocking $600 to $800 billion in additional sovereign lending capacity by development banks. S&P uses the measure to judge how much more an issuer can safely lend without weakening its credit profile. A high ratio means a stronger ability to absorb losses. Those were your business updates. Stand by for entertainment. Creative and cultural practitioners in the music industry have converged in Tshwane, with the city hosting the 2025 Music in Africa Conference for collaborations, exchange and showcases, which began today, Thursday, and will end on Saturday. The continent's leading music trade event is Music in Africa Foundation's brainchild and is being held in Tshwane for the first time. It promises 3 unforgettable days of high-level discussions, live performances, and international networking. Now, at this event, a Zimbabwean creative contingent is Zimbabwean Musicians Union President Edith Votonga Katiji and Asha Nyambi are set to be panelists in some of these discussions. They are also joined by fellow countrymen Ashley Mpawa, who is the Zim Papers Broadcasting Division Digital Coordinator, Earground's Plot Mako, and Shoko Festival Coordinator Vera Chisho. British-Nigerian entertainment mogul and cultural visionary Dr. Adesegan Adeosun Jr., popularly known as Kingsmaid, has arrived in the country ahead of his Zimbabwean tour. Kingsmaid is known for hosting AfroNation, that's a global music festival and movement that celebrates African music and culture, focusing on genres like Afrobeats, Amapiano, dancehall, and hip-hop. He spoke highly of Zimbabwe and is looking forward to meeting local stars. His visit is meant to strengthen cultural and creative ties between Zimbabwe, South Africa, and the United Kingdom.
We've been talking and negotiating and trying to see how we can showcase Zimbabwe and how we can share all the talents, all the gifts that Zimbabwe has got. Beyond music industry, we're talking political, we're talking fashion, we're talking businesses, I'm talking corporates, I'm talking music, I'm talking the food, I'm talking the culture. You know, this is a time for us to showcase who we are to the rest of the world. It's about what we can do for Zimbabwe, not what we are coming to take from it. So I think at this point, everyone needs to wake up. Every Zimbabweans, every friends and families of Zimbabwe needs to wake up. They need to understand that time is now.
Zimbabwe is launching its first public skate park, Samgele Park, in Victoria Falls this Saturday, November the 1st. The park opens with a free event featuring live music and pro skaters from 10 countries. This project is a collaborative effort between local groups, specifically the Victoria Falls Skate Club and Push Project, with international support from wonders around the world. It will create a vibrant space for youth culture and community that goes beyond skating. Well, that's a perfect segue to our sports news. Zimbabwe senior men's cricket team, the Chevrons, will be looking to find form in the second T20 international against Afghanistan tomorrow at Harare Sports Club. The Chevrons fell to a crushing 53-run defeat to the tourists with a batting collapse from the openers, with only Brian Bennett putting up a brave stand. Now we are joined by Zim Paper's Sports Hub Stafadzo Chawangana to give us a preview of the match. Good evening, Mr. Titch. Let's start with what went wrong in the first T20, and is there a heavy burden on Brian Bennett at the moment?
Well, the harsh reality is that when it comes to the T20 format, the Chevrons have a very poor record against Afghanistan. Since 2015, the two teams have played each other 19 times, the Chevrons losing 17 of those. But when you look at Wednesday's result, it is the manner in which we lost our wickets in that power play. 5 wickets are falling, 3 of them are ducks. Taylor, Ryan Bell and Marumani all dropping wickets there, and we were always going to be playing on the back foot. Brian Bennett, I think, has been a stalwart across all 3 formats, but without a partner, a reliable partner to rotate the wicket with during that particular match, he wasn't going anywhere. I think we saw a positive in the performance of Amaposa towards the end with that 32, but the problem that has bedeviled the Chevrons time and time again, a poor start, I think, was the big problem. And for Brian Bennett, he's only going to be able to perform and deliver results when he has a reliable opening partner.
So, Mr. Titch, what do the Chevrons need to do tomorrow, and what are their chances of success?
Going into the second T20, the Chevrons are on their back foot. The confidence has been shaken, but it's about going back to basics like we did during the ICC Men's T20 World Cup qualifiers. Primarily, that opening partnership between Brian Bennett and Tadeusz Marumani. Just play the basic shots, rotate the strike, and navigate our way past that opening 6 overs and the power play. I think if we can do that, we saw Afghanistan in the first T20, they put up about 63 in that opening power play. If we can match that and then restrict them with the ball from that 180 they had in the first T20, something below 150, we could give ourselves a competitive edge.
Thank you very much, Mr. Titch, and all the best to the Chevrons. We now move on to football. Highlanders will this weekend face Zimbabwe at Botswana Stadium, seeking to make a bold step towards their target of surviving relegation. Winless in a 5 league games, the team will also be missing the services of star man Mason Mushore through suspension and a few injury concerns ahead of the crunch tie. Highlanders are just 2 points from safety, but take nothing for granted, especially after the disappointing exit from the Chibuku Super Cup last week.
Nou, het is niet only Zimbabwe as a crucial match. We have 3 games to go. Zimbabwe, Monica Diamonds and the last game Chicken Inn. We need 3 points, 4 points for surviving. Every game is a final. And we start Saturday afternoon against Simba. Dus mijn views is denk ik very simple. We need to play for the best of Highlanders. Nou, het is wat het is. In die situation, we hebben 36 points. We need to go to 39-40, dus we need 4 points uit 3 games. We need to do together. That means every game we needed to go for a final to make. Hard working, spirit, and play for the best. Ja, dat doe je together. Dat is players, staff members, fans, sponsors, executive, office. We needed to do together to bring 3-4 points out the last 3 games.
FC Platinum go in search of their first win in 3 league matches this weekend, away to ZPC Kariba at Nyamonga Stadium. Norman Mapeza's side has struggled for consistency all season and comes against a resolute ZPC Kariba side that is looking for a respectable finish in an impressive season. The team's last meeting ended with a FC Platinum's biggest win of the season, a 4-0 win at Mandava, but Mapeza is not reading much into the past.
I said the guys played very well. Later on, it's unfortunate we end up dropping points at home, but there's something positive. also in positives. We're going to Kariba, we're going to face a very difficult opponent and a very good team. If we can recall our first game in 1 year, I think we focused on it. But look, there are so many things at stake. They want to finish in a better position, we also want to finish in a better position. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. So I'm sure we're ready now. We're ready for the game.
And that wraps up our bulletin this Thursday evening. Thank you very much for tuning in. We absolutely appreciate your time. My name is Wadzanai Sansole. Good night.
Get ready to make a difference. Join us on November 1, 2025 at 6 a.m. for the Zimbabwe's Cancer Power Walk. We're celebrating a decade of supporting the cancer cause since 2016. Register for just $10 and receive a t-shirt.